These are actually some of my favorite cookies I've ever made. It has like this beautiful like crust outside and the gooey center. Hey y'all, this is Tavel Bristol-Joseph. I'm here today to make some chocolate almond cookies. Let me walk you through my ingredients. You have 160 grams of sugar, 1 ounce of butter, almond flour, 36 grams, 2 whole eggs. We have 8 ounces of chocolate. We have our AP flour, which is 15 grams with a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The first thing that we're gonna do is basically get our chocolate in a double boiler. So what a double boiler means is basically you have a bowl over a pot with boiling water in the bottom. I'm just gonna put my chocolate into that. I'm gonna turn my heat up a bit to like, let's say a medium heat. And then I'm gonna put the butter on top. Chocolate melts at a different temperature. So if your butter is in the bottom, what happens is your butter melts and separates and you don't have that smooth texture of what you love and know about butter. So while that is going, we're gonna get our eggs whipping. Now we have our 2 eggs in the mixer. I'm gonna add the sugar. So you notice that I added my eggs first, then I'm adding sugar on top. That's also a very important step because if you have the sugar in the bottom of your bowl, what happens is, then you put the eggs, the liquid from your eggs, it's not going to necessarily get to the bottom of the bowl. So you might have like a dry pocket of sugar in the bottom. So now we're gonna lock that in and then get this started. I'm gonna put this to a high speed because I want to create as much air in here as possible. I want to create it as fast as possible and also be able to have like structure because now my sugar and eggs are going to basically meld together and that's going to create a lot of structure for our cookie. I'm going to go check on these. Looking really good. We got our chocolate starting to melt around. And I'm just gonna press it down a bit while we have our eggs mixing and we have our chocolate melting. I'm going to now combine my flour, basically all my dry ingredients together. So my eggs are pretty much done, all right? I'm gonna take this off. So you have these beautiful ribbons. You notice the eggs have already changed color. So now it's more of a lighter color. And your air pockets, they're not as wide. They're nice small bubbles. And those small bubbles, it's just gonna last a longer time. As you notice, the chocolate is melted and I am now going to stir in the butter. I'm going to fold in my eggs. When you're folding in your eggs, you want to fold in half at a time. If you think about it, your eggs is cold, your chocolate is hot. If you combine them right away, it shocks your cocoa butter, it shocks your chocolate, and when you shock chocolate, it seizes up. You incorporate it slowly. It also gives the chocolate and the eggs time to warm up together. This is now me folding my eggs into the chocolate. What folding means is you're basically turning the dough onto itself and you're not stirring because all of those beautiful bubbles that we created when we whipped our eggs, you don't want to lose them. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with my dry ingredients. I'm gonna go half of it and then I'm gonna folding everything in. And now it actually looks like a brownie. We have everything all incorporated into our bowl. I got a pan lined with a silk pad, which is basically a baking pad. I'm gonna spray this lightly with some pan oil. I have a small scoop. You can use a tablespoon at home. Just a tablespoon, use your finger to kind of take it off. I'm just gonna tap it, get a nice circle. They're gonna spread out just a little bit, a few centimeters. So you don't want them to be too close to each other, but I'm not pressing them down too hard. Again, we don't want to beat up this cookie dough too much because you want to make sure that you keep all of that air trapped inside. Because what that air inside of your cookies do, it's a lot of flavor gets trapped in there. So when you bite into the cookie, before your palate tastes anything, that air is released up into your nose. You are tasting the cookie without even actually tasting it because all your senses now is stimulated from that. And that's the beauty of food, I think. So there we go, we got our cookies ready. I got my salt. All the salt does is enhance it. A little bit of salt brings out that bitterness in there. It adds a lot of character to your cookie. I'm gonna get these in the oven and then we're gonna bake them. Set our timer. All right, so we're gonna cook these cookies at 325 degrees for 7 minutes exactly. You don't wanna go a minute over, you don't wanna go a minute under. I've tested these cookies in the restaurant, I've tested these cookies in my own kitchen. I actually created this recipe in my kitchen. So I know that that time and temperature is exactly what you need. It's been 7 minutes and we're gonna check on our cookies, okay? Oh my God, look at these. All right. This is what I'm looking for, right? See, the outer surface is nice and cracking. We got a little bit of salt, and then in the center, it's a touch darker than the outer surface. That's what I'm looking for because I wanna make sure that this is still soft because that's what my gooey center is. If it cooked a little bit more, it would be the perfect cookie still, but we wouldn't have that gooey center. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. One moment, please. This cookie is that good. I don't even want to. Wow. It's rich, decadent, gooey center, nice crunch on the outside, and that bite of sea salt makes a big difference. I think my cookies came out exactly the way that I wanted them to. All I'm missing now is some ice cream, so I'm going to leave here, go to the store, and pick me up some ice cream.